Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, gather close. Today we talk about power. Not the kind handed down like a cheap trinket. Not the kind that begs for approval in quiet rooms filled with empty suits. No, we're talking about the kind that stops conversations mid-sentence. The kind that turns heads, clenches jaws, and sends shivers down spines. The kind of power that forces them to whisper, to scheme, to plot, because suddenly the game is no longer theirs to control. You weren't supposed to make it this far. You weren't supposed to see beyond the curtain, beyond the script they laid out long before you arrived. Be obedient. Follow the steps. Take what you're given. But you? No. You ripped the script apart. You seized the strings of fate and wove your own destiny. And now they look at you like you're something unnatural. A glitch in their perfect little system. Because in their world, power is inherited, granted, bestowed by unseen hands. But you built it, molded it, and turned it into something they cannot understand. They hate that. They hate that you refuse to kneel, that you walk through walls they swore were impenetrable, that you don't just follow the rules. You rewrite them. You remind them of something they cannot bear to face, their own weakness, their own excuses, their own self-imposed limits. You prove that the barriers they obeyed, they were never real. And that shakes them to their core, the breaking point. At first they just watch, confused, unsettled, like animals sensing a predator they cannot outrun. But then the real panic begins. Because once they realize you're not stopping, they shift from fear to resistance. They don't know how to match you. So they do what cowards always do. They try to destroy you, not with weapons, no, that would be too honest. Instead, they use whispers, doubt, deception. He got lucky. She cheated. They don't deserve it. Lies. Every word a desperate attempt to convince the world and themselves that you couldn't possibly be what you are. Because if you can do it, if you can rise beyond their rules, then what does that say about them? About all the times they played it safe, about all the times they settled for less. That thought haunts them. It eats away at their minds like a parasite. Because deep down they know you weren't handed this. They know you weren't gifted some divine shortcut. No, you worked while they hesitated. You built while they waited. You shattered limits while they made peace with their chains. And that is something they can never forgive. But let them watch. Let them choke on their own bitterness. Let them drown in their regret while you take another step forward. Because while they stand there, frozen, lost, desperate for the world to make sense again, you are already rewriting reality. Again. And the best part, you're just getting started. And the best part, because the higher you climb, the louder the noise becomes. The more you twist the rules, the more they panic. Their minds can't take it. Watching you defy everything they were told was impossible. They claw at explanations, at excuses, anything to make sense of you, but deep down, they know. You are the proof they never wanted to see. So they scramble, they try to pull you down, not because they hate you, but because they hate what you represent. You are living, breathing evidence that they could have done more, that the walls they feared were only shadows, that the limits they obeyed were just chains they chose to wear. And that realization is unbearable, because if you can do it, then why didn't they? That thought alone is enough to tear them apart. It infects their minds, keeps them awake at night, staring at the ceiling, fists clenched, replaying every moment they settled, every time they backed down, every time they let fear make their choices for them. And you're still rising. Higher, faster, untouchable. They whisper your name with a mix of awe and resentment. They watch you like an unsolvable equation, because no matter how hard they try, they can't break you. They can't control you. They can't make sense of you. And the truth they will never admit, they don't really want you to fall. No, they need you to stay exactly where you are, burning like a wildfire on the horizon. Because if you ever stop, if you ever prove them right, then they can go back to their excuses. They can return to the safety of their self-imposed limits. They can pretend that life is fair, that success is scripted, that only the chosen ones rise. But as long as you keep moving, as long as you keep proving them wrong, they are forced to face the one truth they never wanted to accept. The only thing stopping them was them. So let them fear you. Let them envy you. Let them despise you. Because while they waste their breath drowning in their own regret, you are already bending the next rule. But this is where it gets even better. Because now they are out of moves. They've thrown everything they had, the whispers, the doubt, the sabotage, the traps. They've tried to turn the world against you, tried to make you question yourself, tried to bury you beneath their own insecurities. And yet, you're still here, still standing, still winning, still rewriting the game. And now they're forced to watch in silence. No more excuses, no more desperate attempts to discredit you. No more justifications for why you should have failed. They know the truth, and that truth is suffocating. It gnaws at them, poisons their minds, twists their thoughts. Because every second you keep rising, you expose them. Every level you break, every rule you bend, every wall you shatter, you remind them of who they could have been. The weight of it is unbearable. And so some of them will turn away, pretending they never saw you, pretending your existence doesn't haunt them, pretending they don't hear your name echoing in the back of their minds every time they look in the mirror. But the others? Oh, the others will become something else entirely. They will watch, they will study, they will cling to every move you make, every word you speak, hoping, praying that somewhere in your fire they find the spark they lost. Because deep down, buried beneath the fear, the resentment, the envy, they want what you have. They want the power, they want the freedom, they want the courage to step outside of the script, to break the cycle, to claim a life that is truly theirs. And that's where the shift happens. At first they hated you, then they feared you. But now they want to become you. And that is real power. Because power isn't just about winning. It isn't just about breaking limits, defying expectations, or twisting fate. Power is about awakening something in others. It's about standing so boldly in your truth that you force the world to change around you. It's about being undeniable, untouchable, unshakable. And as they watch you take another step forward, as they realize you are never stopping, a question rises in their minds, one that terrifies and excites them all at once. What if I could do it too? That's the moment everything changes. Not for you, you were always going to win. You were always going to burn through the limits and reshape reality to your will. But for them it's the first time they see it, the first time they taste what's possible. And maybe, just maybe, some of them will find the strength to rise. Because in the end, the greatest power isn't just in breaking free. It's in proving that freedom was always possible.